Hey man, society has fed men a comfortable lie for decades, that men cheat more, that women are naturally loyal, that if she truly loves you, she'll never stray. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Modern women cheat more than men, and in ways that cut far deeper. Men usually cheat for lust, for novelty, for release. Women cheat for emotion, validation, and excitement. And that's why it hurts more when she does it. Because when a woman cheats, she doesn't just give her body, she often gives her heart. She invests emotionally in another man while still keeping you as her safety net. And when you understand female psychology, you see why women are now cheating more often. They live in a world that feeds their emotional dissatisfaction and constantly tempts them with fantasy. One of the main reasons women cheat more in relationships is because their loyalty is tied to how they feel, not to the commitments they make. A man can stay with a woman for years even if he's unhappy, because his loyalty is tied to principle and duty. But a woman's loyalty dissolves the moment she stops feeling satisfied, and the modern world constantly feeds her reasons to feel dissatisfied. Social media bombards her with images of men who look more exciting, more successful, more romantic than the man she has at home. Entertainment tells her she deserves endless butterflies, endless attention, endless highs, and when her reality doesn't match the fantasy, she starts looking elsewhere, convinced she's not cheating, but choosing her happiness. Another reason women cheat more is because they're better at hiding it. Female cheating is subtle, calculated, emotional before it's physical. She'll start detaching from you quietly while giving her energy to someone else. She'll frame it as just a friendship, someone who understands me, or just a coworker I talk to. And because women are naturally better at communication, manipulation, and secrecy, they can maintain this double life much longer without getting caught. Men get sloppy when they cheat. Women get strategic, and that's why so many men never see it coming. They trusted her blindly, mistook her secrecy for innocence, and ignored the red flags until it was too late. The real danger lies in how women justify their cheating. A man who cheats usually knows he crossed a line. He may even feel guilty afterward. But women, they often rewrite the story to make themselves the victim. She'll say, "I only cheated because you stopped giving me attention." Or, "I wasn't happy anymore, so it doesn't really count as betrayal." This self-justification is dangerous because it removes accountability. And when women convince themselves they were pushed into cheating, they feel less guilty, and therefore they're more likely to do it again. This emotional rationalization is why women can cheat, cry about it, and still see themselves as the victim in the story. You must also understand that hypergamy plays a massive role in female cheating. Hypergamy is the instinct to seek the best man available, whether emotionally, financially, or socially. And when a woman feels she has leveled down with the man she's with, she becomes restless. If a man with higher status, more confidence, or more resources comes along, she feels drawn to him, not because she consciously plotted betrayal, but because her biology pushes her toward upgrading. And in today's world, with endless access to men through social media, dating apps, and workplaces, her opportunities to upgrade are endless. That's why women are cheating more, not because they're inherently worse than before, but because the temptation has never been so constant and their biology makes them vulnerable to it. One of the most brutal truths is that women often cheat before the relationship is even over in their minds. While a man may cheat and still want to keep his woman, women usually emotionally detach first, build a bridge to someone else, and then use that new attachment as a cushion for leaving. That's why so many men are blindsided when a breakup happens, because she didn't suddenly fall out of love. She had been slowly withdrawing for months, investing her energy into another man while keeping you as a fallback until she felt secure enough to jump. Her cheating isn't always physical right away. It often starts emotionally. And emotional cheating is more dangerous than physical cheating because once her heart leaves, her body follows. Women also cheat more today because society no longer holds them accountable. In the past, a cheating woman risked shame, social rejection, even survival. Today, she's celebrated for following her heart, praised for choosing happiness, and excused for not being fulfilled. The cultural script paints women as victims, no matter their actions, while men are demonized regardless of their intentions. That imbalance has emboldened women. They know they can cheat and still be framed as justified, while men will always be blamed, and when accountability disappears, temptation multiplies. That's why you see so many women bouncing from man to man without guilt. They've been told their emotions are always valid, even when those emotions destroy families. Another reason women cheat more is boredom. Men often underestimate how much women crave novelty and stimulation. A man can work, provide, and remain steady for years and still lose his woman because she stopped feeling excited. Women are wired for emotional highs, and when those highs fade, she begins to seek them elsewhere. This doesn't mean you weren't good enough. It means her psychology confuses stability with stagnation. And instead of appreciating the man who provides consistency, she craves chaos, drama, and butterflies again. That's why so many women leave stable, loyal men for men who bring them emotional roller coasters. It's not about logic, it's about her craving to feel alive. The danger of female cheating also lies in how well they hide it. Women cheat more, but they also get caught less. Why? Because they use emotional manipulation to cover their tracks. She'll accuse you of being insecure if you question her. She'll frame her constant texting as just friends. She'll flip the script and make you feel guilty for even suspecting her. And because most men hate conflict, they back down, suppress their instincts, and ignore the red flags. But those instincts, brother, are rarely wrong. If your gut tells you something is off, it probably is. The problem isn't that men can't sense cheating, it's that they silence themselves to avoid losing her, only to lose her anyway. Let's be clear, women don't cheat because of what you did or didn't do. They cheat because of who they are in that moment. You could be loyal, consistent, and loving, and she could still cheat if her emotions lead her elsewhere. That's why blaming yourself is poison. Her choice to betray you doesn't mean you weren't enough. It means her emotions, her hypergamy, her dissatisfaction made her disloyal. And when you finally accept that her cheating is not a reflection of your worth, but a reflection of her psychology, you stop internalizing the pain. You stop asking what's wrong with me, and start saying, I see her for what she is. That shift is what frees you, brother. Because once you know why women cheat more, you stop being shocked, and you start protecting yourself. One of the most sinister aspects of female cheating is how often it comes wrapped in victimhood. A man cheats and he's called selfish, immoral, a monster. A woman cheats and she's painted as neglected, misunderstood, unfulfilled. She convinces herself and others that it wasn't betrayal, it was survival, that she didn't really want to, but she had no choice, because you stopped making her feel special, or because you were too focused on your mission, or because she just wasn't happy. This rationalization is why so many men end up apologizing for the cheating they didn't commit. They get gaslit into believing they failed, when in reality, she chose betrayal. And once a man swallows that lie, brother, he not only loses the relationship, he loses his dignity. You must understand that women don't cheat impulsively the way most men do. For a man, cheating is often a momentary lapse of lust. For a woman, it's usually premeditated. She thinks about it, plans it, builds an emotional bridge first. She may test the waters for weeks or months, flirting, creating excuses to spend time, emotionally detaching from you before she ever acts physically. That's why her cheating feels so much deeper, because by the time she betrays you with her body, she already betrayed you with her heart long ago. And once she crosses that emotional line, the relationship is dead. You just don't know it yet. Modern women also cheat more because the opportunities are endless. Think about it. Dating apps in her pocket, social media DMs open 24/7, thirsty men lining up to validate her with likes, comments, and attention. A single post of hers can attract more male attention in one day than some men get in a year. And this constant flood of options makes temptation a permanent background noise in her life. Even if she doesn't act on it today, the fact that she knows she could creates restlessness. Why stay content with one man when validation and new excitement are only a swipe away? That's why loyalty is weaker now than ever before. It's not about whether she's tempted, it's about whether she's strong enough to resist, and many aren't. Here's another harsh truth. Many women cheat, not because they want to leave you, but because they want the benefits of both worlds. They want the stability you provide, the roof over their head, the security, the consistency, while also chasing the thrill of another man. This duality is why women cheat more today. They know they don't have to choose. Society doesn't shame them, men don't hold them accountable, and the world gives them a constant buffet of options. So they indulge, convincing themselves it's harmless because they still come home to you. But the reality is, brother, if she shares her body or her emotions with another man, she's already gone. What you have left isn't love. It's an arrangement where you're being used. And this is why trusting blindly in female loyalty is dangerous. You must always remember, her words don't bind her. Her emotions do. And emotions change like the wind. That doesn't mean every woman will cheat, but it does mean every woman can. The potential is always there, and ignoring it is suicide for your peace. That's why men who survive and thrive in modern relationships move differently. They don't build their lives on a woman's promises, they build on their mission. They don't hand over blind trust. They demand respect first. They don't assume loyalty, they watch patterns, and when they see betrayal, they don't beg or bargain, they walk. Because the man who knows why women cheat more is the man who cannot be blindsided again. One of the clearest warning signs that a woman is on the path to cheating is when she starts creating distance while pretending everything is fine. She'll stop sharing her day with you, she'll stop seeking your approval, and she'll stop bringing her energy into the relationship. But she won't always fight you about it. In fact, sometimes she'll act calmer because she's already getting her emotional fix somewhere else. That's why so many men don't catch it early. They think less conflict means things are stable. But peace without connection isn't peace, it's withdrawal. And when you see her energy leaving the relationship, it's not because she's just busy, it's because she's already investing it elsewhere. Another red flag is when she suddenly becomes more secretive with her phone or her time. A woman who is loyal doesn't need to guard her devices like they're state secrets. She doesn't need to change her routines without explanation. But when she starts flipping her phone upside down, spending more time working late, or suddenly dressing up more without reason, those aren't coincidences. Women rarely cheat out of nowhere. They lay the groundwork first, and secrecy is the soil where betrayal grows. Most men, blinded by trust, ignore these signs until it's too late. But the man who's awake sees them instantly, and instead of asking endless questions or begging for reassurance, he calmly notes the pattern and prepares to walk if respect is gone. Women also cheat more today because men have lowered their standards. Too many men accept disrespect, tolerate excuses, and allow women to blur the lines of loyalty. They let her keep male friends who are clearly waiting for their chance. They let her dress for attention while pretending it's harmless. They let her post thirst traps online while being in a committed relationship. And every time you ignore one of these behaviors, you're not keeping the peace, you're training her to disrespect you. And once disrespect is established, cheating is only a matter of time. That's why men who enforce boundaries early, who make it clear what's acceptable and what's not, tend to get more loyalty, not because women are angels, but because women respect men who respect themselves. Here's the truth, most men don't want to hear. You cannot stop a woman from cheating if she wants to. No amount of love, money, or attention will prevent it if she's determined, and that's why living in fear of it is weakness. The point isn't to control her, the point is to control yourself. To know that if she cheats, you won't collapse, you won't beg, you won't lose yourself, you'll walk. Because a man's strength isn't measured by how tightly he holds her, but by how quickly he lets go when she disrespects him. That's how you stay untouchable. Because betrayal may sting, but it cannot destroy the man who was never dependent on her loyalty in the first place. The reason women cheat more today is simple. The culture protects them, the opportunities surround them, and men enable them by ignoring red flags. But here's the flip side, the man who lives with awareness is immune to this game. He doesn't panic, he doesn't plead, he doesn't blindly trust, he observes, he enforces boundaries, he builds himself into a man so valuable, so disciplined, so unshakable, that if she cheats, it's not his loss, it's hers, and that shift is the key. Once you stop fearing female betrayal, once you accept that it's possible at any time, you no longer cling to illusions, you live free, you love with eyes open, and you never again get destroyed by what you already expected. Here's the cruelest part, when women cheat, they rarely confess out of guilt, they confess out of convenience. Either they're already planning to leave and want to soften the blow, or they've been caught and have no choice but to admit it. Otherwise, she will carry her betrayal silently, convincing herself she's protecting your feelings, but the reality is she's protecting her image. And that's why trusting her words is a mistake, because she won't tell you the truth if it threatens her comfort. She'll only reveal what benefits her. That's why the man who watches patterns, not words, is always safer. He doesn't need her confession to know the truth. He sees it in her behavior. Another truth is this. Most women don't cheat down. They cheat up, or at least sideways. She won't risk everything for a man she respects less than you. She cheats with the man who sparks more emotion, who brings back the thrill, who makes her feel something she claims she's missing. And that's why betrayal stings so deeply. Because while men often cheat without leaving, women cheat with the intention to replace. And when she cheats, it's often because she already sees you as less valuable than the man she's betraying you with. That comparison shatters men because it makes them question their worth. But brother, her betrayal doesn't lower your value, it only reveals her instability. The final nail in the coffin is realizing this: women don't see cheating the way men do. To men, loyalty is principle. To women, loyalty is feeling. If she feels connected, she's loyal. If she feels distant, she convinces herself that betrayal isn't betrayal, it's just following her heart. And that's why women cheat more in relationships today. Not because they're inherently evil, but because they live in a culture that validates feelings over principles, and if her feelings tell her to betray, she believes she's justified. That's why a man must never anchor his life in her loyalty, because it was never built on permanence. Here's how you protect yourself. You stop expecting women to be what they're not. You stop building your peace on her promises. You stop handing out blind trust. Instead, you build boundaries so strong that betrayal cannot destroy you. You observe her patterns, you enforce your standards, and you stay grounded in your mission. If she cheats, you don't beg, you don't negotiate, you walk. Because the man who knows the truth about women doesn't cling to illusions. He doesn't fight to keep what has already betrayed him. He knows that losing her is not loss, it's liberation from someone who already checked out. So the truth is this: women cheat more in relationships today because they're emotional, because they're enabled, and because opportunities surround them like never before. But the deeper truth is this: you can't control whether she cheats, you can only control whether it destroys you. And once you understand female psychology, once you see how fragile loyalty is when it's tied to feelings, you stop fearing betrayal altogether. You live with awareness, you lead with strength, and you remain unshakable. Because at the end of the day, brother, her betrayal doesn't define you. Your response does, and the man who walks in truth, who expects nothing blindly, who remains loyal to himself above all, that man cannot be broken by anyone.